ahead now and turn to the next page. It's the third page, and it says ratio tables, worksheet 1, complete the ratio tables. We're going to work on that page now. Okay, so let's look at number 1. Okay, so looking at number 1. On top we have 2, 6, 10, and on bottom we have 10 and 20. We have 3 blanks that we need to fill in. So, I'm going to start by using the full ratio that I have. What is the full ratio that I have? 2 to 10. Okay, so I know 2 to 10 is my full ratio, so I'm going to start right there. And I'm going to determine what goes in these other blanks. I'm going to give you about 2 minutes to look at it and see if you can figure it out by yourself. Look at your attitude. That was right. Look at that last one. Look at that last one. Okay. So we're going to begin by using this 2 to 10 ratio, okay? And we're going to fill in this blank. I think the majority of us was able to fill in this first one right here. So, first of all, we have to determine what did they do to 10 to get that 20? They multiplied it by what? Times 2, right? So to get this one, I'm going to multiply that 2 times 2 also. Do we understand? They multiplied 10 times 2 to get this 20. So I have to multiply this 2 times 2, because I have to do what same thing to both. So what is 2 times 2? 4. Okay, next. We went from 2 to what?
4.
To 6. How did we get from 2 to 6? Raise your hand. How do we get from 2 to 6? How do you get from 2 to 6? Well, you count by 2's, but what about our multiplying, what we've been doing? I'm going to multiply it times 3. So 2 times 3 is 6. So since I did this times 2, I have to do this times times 3, right? So what is 10 times 3? 30. And then our last one, we went from 2 to 10. What did I do to go from 2 to 10? Not times 4, times 5. And a lot of you did just say times 4 because you were just following the pattern. 2, 3, 4. That's not what it is. So that's why you have to be careful. So 2 times 5 is 10. So 10 times 5 is 50. So that is what should have been in those blanks. 4, 30, and then 50. Questions? Okay, we're going to skip number 2 and we'll come back to it. And we're going to go to number 3. go ahead and see what you can do by yourself with number 3. Go ahead and see what you can do by yourself with number 3. Look at the very last one. You're doing good so far. Good job, Marcus. Look at the very last one. That's all right. All right, so my full ratio that I have is 5 to 6, correct? Okay, so what did I do to go from 6 to 12? I multiplied it by 2. So I'm going to do that to 5. 5 times 2 is 10. Okay, what did I do to go from 5 to 15? Times 3. So what is 6 times 3? 18. And the last one, what did I do to go from 6 to 24? Not times 5.
4.
Times 4. So what is 5 times 4? 20. So it should be 10, 18, and 20. Questions?
No.
Okay, now let's do number 4.
Marcellus?
Yep, go ahead and start working on it. 1 to 3 is our ratio. What do they do to 1 to get 3? Times 3. 1 times 3 is 3. So what's 3 times 3? 9.
Yes.
Okay, what do they do to 1 to get 5? Times 5, right? So what's 3 times 5? 15.
Yes.
And what do they do to 1 to get 7? Times 7. So 3 times 7 is 21. Questions? Okay, I'm going to write number 5. Nope, we're not going to do 5. Number 6. I'm going to write it different because sometimes it'll be written different and I just want you to see that. So go ahead and solve it like you've been doing.
6.
Number 6. Look at your second one. That first one's right. Good job. Good job. Good job. Look at it again. Okay. So mine is written different because I want you to see that sometimes these tables will be turned like this instead of like this. But it's still solved the exact same way. So 3 to 7 is my ratio. So how do they go from 7 to 14? Times 2, correct? So what's 3 times 2? 6. How do they go from 3 to 9? Times 3. So what is 7 times 3? 21. And last, how do they go from 3 to 12? Times 4. So 4 times 7 is 28. Questions on that? Okay, now let's go back and do number 2. Okay, what is my full ratio this time? Do we know what goes here? Do we know what goes here? Are both these filled out? They are. So my full ratio is 18 to 27. Okay? So what did they do to 27 to get this front number?
3.
They didn't times 3. They did not do 27 times 3. What did they do to 27 to get 9? They divided it by 3. So 27 divided by 3 is 9. So I have to divide this 18 by 3 also to get that front number. So I did 27 divided by 3 and got the 9. So now I'm going to do 18 divided by 3 and get 6. Now see if you can fill out the other two blanks. Now that you have this front ratio of 6 to 9, see if you can fill out the other two blanks. You already did it?
We need the following students to come down to the first floor with Mr. Mack to get their picture made. We need Savannah Mitchell, Amaya Crawford, Chance Emery, Kedra Fields, Stephanie Pertillo, Evelyn Robledo Lopez, Janae Rice,
That's right. Good job. Good job. Okay, so now we have 6 to 9 also, correct? As a full ratio. So now I'm going to do the way we've been doing it. What do they do to 9 to get 18? Times 2. So 6 times 2 is 12. And then what do they do to 9 to get 36? Times 4. So 6 times 4 is 24. Okay, now go to 5. 5 is done the exact same way. Okay, we want to figure out this one right here because that's going to help us to start working once we figure that one out, okay? So, we have 4 to 12, correct? What did they do to this 4 to get 1? They divided. What did they divide by? 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. So, I'm going to do 12 divided by 4, and that's going to give me this front thing. So, what is 12 divided by 4? Huh? 3. Okay. Now see if you can figure out the other two. Okay, so let's see. Now I need to figure out what did they do to 1 to get 2, class? What did they do, class? Times 2. 1 times 2 gives me 2. So what's 3 times 2? 6. And then what did they do to 1 to get 3, class? Times 3. So 3 times 3 is 9. Raise your hand if you got that.
I only got one wrong.
Okay, go ahead and do number 7 by yourself.
I don't have a number 7. Oh, it's the one. You don't have 7.
Girl, you do too.
Under 5. No, we don't have 7.
It goes 5, 6, 7.
Oh.
It's under 5. You got it. Okay, so my full ratio is 10 to 5, correct?
Yes.
So let's start with the 10. How did we go from 5 to 10? How did we go from 5 to 10? Times 2, right? So what's 10 times 2? 20. Ray Chain, if you got that right. Okay, how did we go from 10 to 30? Times 3. So what's 5 times 3?
15.
Ray Chain, if you got that right. Ooh, we're doing good. Next, how did we go from 10 to 40?
Times 4.
Times 4. So 5 times 4 is 20. Ray Chain, if you got that right.
Yes.
So y'all all got it all right? Good job. Okay, go to 8. Hello. New student? Yes.
on second period. It doesn't have a first on here. Miss Moore's printed that.
I'll look at it.
Oh, you can see it, okay.
I'll do that.
Okay.
And then I'll give it to you.
And do you have any extra Chromebooks that she could have?
I have one.
Okay.
I think she gets hers from Ross.
She's done Rogers, but
He's
she
done.
said to ask you, I don't know, she just said,
I'll see if Rogers does it. If not, we'll get it.
okay,
We'll get it taken care of.
sounds good.
All right, come on
Okay,
in.
there you go.
What do you
Oh,
got by?
And
Aaliyah? Okay.
Mac said, if you think about it, send her,
So just call for him.
okay, he's got like a little line, okay, so he said, give her
Extra
send
class?
and then,
I'll walk her down there
Yeah.
to class. That'll be good.
yeah.
Okay, come on in.
I'm gonna set you right here.
You have to go that way. And then I will, I'll be sure to in just a minute. You need a pencil? We're working on number 8 right now.
Okay, number 8. All right, so our first full ratio is 6 to 7. So what did we do to 7 to get 14? Times 2. So 6 times 2 is 12. Raise your hand if you got that. Good job. Okay, we went from 6 to 18. What did we do? Times 3. So 7 times 3 is 21. And then we went from 7 to 28. What did we do here? Times 4. So 6 times 4 is 24. Raise your hand if you got all 3 correct. Okay, go ahead and do number 9. Hayden, can you open that door real quick? Shh, mind your business. Let's look at number 9. My full ratio is 6 to 4, correct? So I'm going to use that to figure out my other ratios. So what did we do to 6 to get 12? Times 2. What's 4 times 2? Raise your hand if you got that. Okay, next one. We went from 6 to 18. What do we do? Times 3. So 4 times 3 is? 12. Raise your hand if you got that. All right, and then we went from 6 to 24 by doing times 4. So it's 4 times 4? 16. Raise your hand if you got all 3 right. Okay, go to number 10. Actually, don't do 10. Go to number 16. Who asked? Just get in and listen to us. I can't go over what I've already taught. Okay, so you're gonna go. St. Bruce. Yes, DeMarcus. Yeah. Okay. So 5 to 20 is my full ratio, correct? So I'm gonna use this 20 to figure out what did they do to it. You gotta sign out. What did they do to 20 to get 4, class? What did they do with 5? They did not do 20 times 5. They divided it. They got from 20 to 4. Y'all need to listen where we're going. We're going from 20 to 4. So they divided it by 5. So now we're going to do the same thing with my 15. What is 15 divided by 5? 3. Now I'm going to use this 3 to 4 to finish out the rest because it's going to be easier that way. So what did they do to 4 to get 12? Times 3. So what's 3 times 3? 9. And then what do they do to 4 to get 24?
6 times 6.
You can't just say 6. What did we do? Times 6. So what's 3 times 6? 18. Raise your hand if you got all that right. Because we're going from 20 to 4, and so you divide 20 divided by 5 to get 4. Okay, now go ahead and do number 12. Okay, I'm going to help you out. My full ratio is 7 to 63, correct? So I need to know, what did they do to 63 to get 9? Go ahead and try to see if you can figure it out from there. 63 to get that 9, class? How do we go from 63 to 9? We did not multiply. We divided it by 7. So I'm going to have to divide this one by 7. What's 7 divided by 7? You're right. 1. Okay, so now that I have the front ratio, I can figure out the rest. What did they do to 9 to get 45? Can't just say 5, guys. Times 5. 1 times 5 is? 5. What did they do to 9 to get 81? Times 9. So 1 times 9 is 9. Did anybody get all 3 right? Okay, we'll continue with this tomorrow. Go ahead and flip your paper back to the front and make sure your name is on it. And go ahead and